The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Around the late end of 2023, Sexy Red revealed that she likes Donald Trump. And the public had valid concerns about this because she is a black woman who is an SA survivor who was supporting a racist white man who has done numerous other horrible things. Earlier this year, she had this out of the ass performance where the entire aesthetic was inspired by Trump's favorite annoying ass phrase, "Make America Great Again." If you would like more insight on the situation and what's been going on with her career, King of Reads made a very insightful video on it. I will have a link down below. It's very much giving her team stepped in because ever since the MAGA hat performance situation, we have not heard anything political from her since, other than her saying that she wants to be president. The way people brush off Sexy Red being alt-right reminds me a bit of how Paris Hilton literally voted for Trump when she was 35, and then a few years later she said she lied about voting for Trump. And sis, why would you lie about that? But the entirety of Sexy Red pandering to the alt-right reminds me so much of how we as a society didn't bat an eye much at Paris Hilton. Why is that? It's my scene, you know what Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome to or welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hill's Pirate Ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate, and I got no first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Today, we are going to be talking about Paris Hilton and the rose-colored y2k glasses, because anybody that's like in the know of 2000s culture, especially like y2k, like me, like I'm not saying I'm y2k, I'm just saying I'm one of those people that likes y2k. Paris Hilton has become culturally relevant again, and I want to talk a little bit about why that is, and also how so many of us just kind of don't bat an eye about a lot of her behaviors when she was like more so well into adulthood. More so with her voting for Donald Trump, and now she's trying to say that she didn't. This is all alleged. And before we get started, I just have some shout outs to give and also two quick little announcements. One, my mutual Vintage Coochie, she made a video about Paris Hilton, and her video about Paris is what inspired me to make mine. So I highly recommend giving it a watch. I will have her video linked down below. And yes, the next thing is that it's officially been 10 years of me being on YouTube. It's something, I'm telling you, okay? But I do have a special video that I have coming forward about my 10-year anniversary. I already decided on what topic I'm going to do, and I'm super duper excited. But to promote the 10-year anniversary, I'm also having an office clean out sale. This is what we're doing to celebrate it because yay, it's 10 years sale, woo woo. But also, I want to make space for new inventory coming in the fall and the winter, and I just need space in my office. There are just things that gotta go. Many of these items that are a part of this office clean out sale will not be restocked, so first comes first serve. Next, the art piece that you guys are going to be seeing me work on in this video is the art cover for my new zine called The Con Journey. If any of you guys are familiar with me, you know that I go to a lot of fan conventions. Not a lot, but like I say, I go through quite a few throughout the year. And I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how the con space has changed so much since the pandemic has hit. So deeply appreciated. The zine is only $5. I tried to make it as affordable as I can, and it's not super duper long. It's probably only about 30 pages. So yeah, now let's go ahead and get back into the video. Y2K and the 2000s is trending now, from the cartoons, movies, fashion, to the celebrities It's a trend that's not going away anytime soon, especially because everything from the 2000s keeps getting rebooted. Because it's trending, it has brought back certain celebrities from that time period back to relevancy. And I'd say one major example of this, before we get into Paris, would have to be Tiffany Pollard. Tiffany Pollard is a reality television star that got fame from being on the series Flavor of Love, and then she ended up getting her own reality television series called I Love New York. And part of the reason why Tiffany Pollard was also brought back into relevancy is that a lot of people like to use her scenes from I Love New York and Flavor of Love as like meme content and use it in different gifs and whatever. But then in the future, I Love New York and Flavor of Love started getting reruns, and it introduced Tiffany to a whole new generation of people, while people who knew about her in the past have a new appreciation for her. And I'd say another celebrity that was affected by this Y2K boom would have to be Britney Spears. Now, this is different because Britney Spears has always been culturally relevant, but more and more people have been more appreciative and respectful towards her now, because as someone who grew up in the 2000s, I can go ahead and tell you that people were not nice to Britney Spears. The things that they said about her were actually really, really freaking mean. So seeing now Britney Spears is a celebrity that a lot of people kind of have nothing bad to say about her, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we found out a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes with her and her family. She also recently had put out a memoir about what was going on with her family, but it's kind of more so like the public kind of feels bad for Britney Spears, which I get it, I do too. Britney Spears was an actually important figure of the 2000s and Y2K. I feel like with the way people view the 2000s and the Y2K aesthetic now, it's like Britney Spears is getting an apology for the way people treated her back then. But you see how I mentioned Britney Spears, and oftentimes when the subject of Y2K comes up, plenty of Britney Spears pictures are what people use. They love to use the outfits that she wore from that time period. They love to post screen caps from her music videos, and they really like to play her songs that she had put out during that entire decade. But the 2000s aesthetic is very white if you weren't interested in the R&B and hip-hop and black sitcom scene, because as I mentioned, Tiffany Pollard was very much unknown to pretty much anybody that wasn't black and didn't know what reality television was. But now white people are more likely to recognize her because social media has just made a big melting pot of cultures, if you ask me. But when people think of Y2K, they often think of a wealthy white woman who wears a lot of pink and glitter and sparkles and wears big ass sunglasses and shops a lot. She's always carrying around a new designer purse. She's always wearing high heels or really cute sandals. She's also wearing a tracksuit. It's most likely bedazzled. And if she's not wearing a tracksuit, she's wearing a mini skirt. You know how they say, skirt being the size of a belt. One of the women that fits that aesthetic is Paris Hilton. If we are looking at the face of white Y2K, it's Paris Hilton. And if it's not Paris Hilton, it was her BFF at the time, Nicole Richie. And if it wasn't those two, it was Lindsay Lohan. And then another person I'd say that fits just perfectly would have to be Megan Fox. Now you might be confused as to why I brought Sexy Red up in the introduction of this video. Well, like Paris Hilton, she is a celebrity that plenty of people don't take seriously. Sexy Red literally has a song called Looking for the Hoes. And in that same song, she said, I'm his favorite bitch, you a lame hoe. And then also she told everybody that her genitals stank, like on her Instagram story. Because of all of this, whatever she does is written off to be as funny, even if it's questionable. Like someone even said her liking Trump wasn't that serious. But with the current state of our government and anti-intellectualism being on the rise, it is. Now back to Paris Hilton. Part of the reason she was so well liked is because she was viewed as like this airhead party type girl that just wanted to have fun. Nobody really cared what was going on in her brain. She was just entertaining for people to see, but also she often gotten a pass for what she's done because she is someone that a lot of people wish they were. Paris Hilton was set for life the moment her mama got pregnant with her. She literally was born with the silver spoon in her mouth. And one thing I have learned about people who grew up to be very privileged is that often their ignorance gets a pass because they know whatever they do, they're still gonna have money coming in. Even though she was already wealthy, you know, literally being set for life before she was even born, she also was an entrepreneur. Not was an entrepreneur, she's still an entrepreneur. And one thing a lot of people were most familiar with that she sold would have to be her perfumes. I even owned a few of her perfumes. I knew who Paris Hilton was more so for her fragrances before I knew who she was as a person. Personally, I never thought Paris Hilton was uneducated on certain things. Like when it comes to the subject of business and finances, she most likely is well educated on that. And as I mentioned that a lot of people didn't really know her more so for being smart, they thought her air quote dumb blonde behavior was funny. And her being a dumb blonde type to the general public is what sold her. She's blonde, she's skinny, she is pretty, she fits all the societal beauty standards. On top of the fact that she's wealthy. She says something that's funny and quirky and then boom, she's richer than she already was before. I know we get on here and talk about the subject of relatability and celebrities and how a lot of them are not relatable as much as they pretend to be, but that is how Paris Hilton was able to sell herself for so long, specifically in the 2000s with The Simple Life, because even though she's not relatable, as I said, she is super duper wealthy. She is disgustingly rich. She would say funny and quirky things that a regular person would say, and people would be like, oh my gosh, she is so mean, and then boom, people go and buy her perfumes or whatever she puts out, and then she's significantly richer again. A lot of celebrities do that. That she's like, this isn't a new thing that a lot of people think. Celebrities have always been pulling a relatability bill. And that is another reason why Sexy Red was able to be sold so well to the general public. And when I say general public, in that sense, I mean hip hop fans, because a lot of people found her to be relatable, but they also found her to be funny. How a lot of people found Paris Hilton to be funny. Since Y2K is relevant and Paris Hilton was an important factor to that era, I'm not even joking. When people talk about Y2K, they often bring up her reality show, The Simple Life. All of the popular Y2K clothing trends, she's probably worn them. That's why she's on so many Y2K mood boards. It's as if she wants to get rid of this narrative that she's right-leaning. Y'all, let's be fucking for real. When it comes to extremely wealthy white people, a great amount of them are. Not all, but many. I have learned that from watching Gossip Girl. Because as I mentioned in the election of 2016, that is when she said that she voted for Donald Trump. But then in her memoir, I'm pretty sure, she had said that, oh, I actually didn't vote for him. I lied and just said I voted for him, but I didn't. And because more and more people are aware of all that Donald Trump has done with him, you know, running for president, personally, I don't even think he'd be so culturally relevant, unfortunately, if he didn't run for president. Because for those of you who are not familiar with Trump, lucky you. He was a very well-known celebrity in the 90s and the 2000s. Like, singers and rappers and whatever will often reference Donald Trump because they just knew of him because of how much money he has. And it's not even with just Donald Trump himself, it has to do with his entire family just as well. But after he ran his presidency and it has becoming more and more clear to people that it was a hot-ass mess, she realized that her telling everybody that she voted for Trump, allegedly, was not a good thing. And it's like she's distancing herself from the Trump family, but as somebody that knows way too much about just history, the Trumps and the Hiltons, oh, they're close. Paris Hilton also stated publicly that her family no longer associates with him. The Hiltons mirror the Trumps in numerous ways. And like I said, when it comes to the subject of business and when it comes to the subject of finance, Paris Hilton is not stupid. She's gonna know how to make another bag. And part of the reason why I think this is because Paris Hilton, as I said, Y2K, people who actually were young adults during that time period are very much over it. I think Paris Hilton wants to cater to a younger audience, as in people who are under the age of 30, who are really into the Y2K and 2000s aesthetic because they were not adults at that time period and couldn't dress in a lot of the styles and all of that. And also, we didn't have money to buy a lot of these things either. And one thing about people between the ages, I'd say like 18 and 30, I've noticed that with Gen Z and later millennials is that they do take into consideration a person's social and political views before they support them. When it comes to finances and business, Paris Hilton is no idiot. She knows what she's doing. But my main thing, is it genuine? Has she actually grown and learned? And the thing about it is that I can't really say that because at the end of the day, I don't know Paris Hilton. And knowing the type of environment she was brought up in, I can see why this affected her political views. And that's why she came out and publicly said she voted for Trump. She basically grew up with that family. It was disappointing but not surprising to see that she had made that decision. And it is nice to know that she has distanced herself from them. But I'm just curious to know, did she actually do this? Is it genuine? Or did she just do this because she knows that this will look bad on her currently? I don't know. What do you guys think? And that wraps up the commentary that I just had about just how we just don't take certain celebrities seriously because of the type of work they put out or the lack thereof. Because Paris Hilton is known as a celebrity that is just famous for being famous. She is somebody's name that everyone knows, but a lot of people can't sit here and tell you what she does. And then we constantly see clips on the internet from The Simple Life where she is just saying quirky and silly things and everyone just writes it off like, haha, funny. And that's the same thing with Sexy Red. People just write off everything she does to be funny and doesn't take it seriously. But yeah, I'm done yapping. That's pretty much all I had to say. I don't want this to go on any longer because I just have other things that I want to work on. I have a new video about Tyler Perry that I'm making because, the work has not improved. Like, I'm actually really sad that it has come to this point because I'm somebody that liked his 2000s work to a certain extent, and seeing what it is now, it's disappointing. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, the office clean out sale for my shop, the link to that is down below. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. All right, thank you. Goodbye.